Good day, creative learners! Sir Sunny here. Welcome to another lesson video in creative writing. In this video, we will discuss elements of poetry, or we can say structures of poetry. To start with, poetry is a word composition arranged in rhythmic pattern. It is used to express one's creative thoughts and feelings through a specialized and heightened language. Poetry has remained a vital part of art and culture, like other forms of literature. Poetry is made to express thoughts and emotions in a creative and imaginative way. In this video, we will explore on the elements of poetry based on the following partitions: with the structure, sound, and meaning. This particular lesson will highlight the poetry according to structure, namely stanza and form. One significant way to analyze a poem is by looking into the stanza and other forms of the poem. Generally speaking, structure refers to the overall organization of lines and conventional patterns of sounds. However, various modern poems may not have particular patterns or structure. Stanzas refer to the lines or series of lines grouped together and separated by a space from other stanzas. In essay, we call it paragraph, while in poetry, we call it stanzas. Identifying the stanza is done by counting the number of lines. The following are some of the terms used to refer the number of stanzas. Monostitch is the name of a line in a stanza. We call it couplet if it is 2 lines, tercet if 3 lines, quatrains for 4 lines, cinquain if 5 lines, sestet if 6 lines, septet for 7 lines, and octave for 8 lines. In many cases, a poem may not have a specific line or stanza and a metrical pattern. However, it can be labeled according to its form or style. Here, we will discuss the 3 most common types of poetry according to form. These are lyric, descriptive, and narrative. We will also include the other popular types of poetry. First on the list is we have your lyric poetry. It is a poetry which is intended to be sung. Here are some type of lyric poetry. First is ode. An ode is a lyric poem that praises an individual, an idea, or an event. The length is usually moderate. The subject is serious, and the style is elevated, and the stanza pattern is elaborated. Examples of ode are Ode of the Confederate Dead by Allen T. America by Robert Greeley, and Ode to My Pearl of the Orient Seas by Jeff Frank. Next is elegy. An elegy is written with a purpose to mourn a dead. It is usually begin by reminiscing about the dead person, then weeps with the reason of death, and then resolve the grief by concluding the death leads to immortality. Example of elegy is O Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman, which was written in memory of Abraham Lincoln. Next is sonnet. It is a lyric poem consisting of 14 lines, and in English version, it is usually written in iambic pentameters. The 3 basic kinds of sonnets are: first is the Petrarchan sonnet, founded by Francesco Petrarch, an Italian sonneteer. A sonnet which consists of an octave and sestet. It tends to divide the thoughts into 2 parts. We have the argument and the conclusion. The rhyming pattern is ABBA, ABBA, CBE, CBE, or some accepted as CDC, CDC, or CDDC, DE, or CDC, D, C, D. Next is Shakespearean sonnet. Consists of 3 quatrains, 4 lines, and a concluding couplet. The final couplet is the summary. This sonnet is founded by William Shakespeare. The rhyming pattern of this sonnet is ABAB, CDCD, EFEF, GG. Next is Spenserian sonnet by Edmund Spenser. This is divided into 3 quatrains or segments of 4 lines, followed by a rhyming couplet. The rhyming pattern of this is usually ABAB, BCBC, CDCD, EE. Next type of poetry is narrative poetry. It is a poem that tells a story. Its structure resembles the plot line of a story. When we say plot, it includes the following: the introduction of the conflict, the characters, rising action, climax, and the denouement. The most common type of narrative poetry are ballad and epic. First is ballad. When we say ballad, it is a narrative poem that has a musical rhythm and can be sung. Example is Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Next is epic. It is a long narrative poem in elevated style recounting the deeds of a legendary or historical hero. Example of epic includes Iliad by Homer, Beowulf, and the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. Lastly is we have the descriptive poetry. It is a poem that describes the world that surrounds the speaker. Example is when you write up a poem about a broken-hearted or about your feelings. So it is merely a description of your feeling or what you feel. Next is the other type of poetry. We have your haiku. It is a Japanese poem which has an unrhymed verse or having a 5-7-5 syllable or a 17 syllable respectively, and its counterpart in the Philippine literature is your tanaga. So those are the different types of poetry. That would be all, and I hope this video helped you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.